Be my guest. He flies small planes. Yeah. And a lot of our people fly in from outside of the area, so we're shuttling people to Brainerd. If they flew their own planes, we bring them back to Brainerd. If they're flying commercial, we take them back to Bradley, and all different times of day. And so I've got his truck today because a couple of the people we need to take to the airport can't get in his truck. It sits too high. So he's like, well, take my truck this morning to church, and when you get back, we'll have your car here ready, because I have Lincoln MKX. It sits a little low, so people can get in and out easier. Absolutely. I've seen some where the step like magically comes out when the car stops. He hasn't quite gotten to that yet. I can still climb in and out of it. I'm his major passenger. So he hasn't even thought about it for anybody else. I know people that carry step stools. Because would you try the intro, please, as we do a sound check?
Okay. Yeah, we're going to start. So if you want
we're going to start now?
Yeah.
Okie doke. Is it time? It is time. All right. Yep, it's on. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Universalist Church, in which love is the spirit. We are glad you are here. Whether you're in the building today or anywhere in the world, I'm Diane Daniels. I am your guest preacher this morning. If you are a visitor, please take a minute and sign the guest book or visit the Fern Street Unitarian Church homepage at www.westhartforduu.org to learn more. There you can use the contact page to get onto the electronic mailing list. Electronic communications are one of the best ways for you to stay connected to this wonderfully beautiful and big-hearted congregation, and they look forward to helping you become a part of the Universalist Church. We're in an in-between pandemic moment. The risk of severe illness is considered low, and thankfully, our levels of COVID transmission are falling. Yay! If you wish to protect yourself until transmission is negligible, please wear a high-quality mask. There are some available if you need one. And please remember that masks are required for unvaccinated people over 2 years old. After worship, there will be fellowship in Fisk Hall and through Zoom, and you can find the link for that in the weekly news or on the Breeze calendar. If you aren't getting the weekly news, please sign up for it on the website, again, westhartforduu.org. And now I invite you to take a moment to make your mobile phone silent, turn off your email if you're at home watching us, and put away your keyboard and settle in for worship. Our intro this morning is entitled, Stand By Me. And after the years we've had just lately, everybody needs someone standing by them. Good morning. right, it is time for the weekly cooperation with the Chalice. Let's see if I can get this to light this week. Sometimes me and the Chalice don't always agree, but we're going to keep a good thought this morning. Let's see. Okay. Don't lean over there too far, Diane. It's lit. Yay. Awesome. Our chalice lighting this morning, if you are looking in your hymnal, is at number 100, and it's entitled The Kindling of This Chalice by Maureen Killeran, and I've adapted it just a little bit. As the kindling of this chalice calls us to community, let there be light. As the flame of this chalice reminds us of our values, let there be light. As the glow of this chalice encourages us to hope, let there be light. As the light of this chalice shows us the way forward and at the same time illuminates our history and those who came before, let there be light. Please, if you have a hymnal nearby and want to join us in our opening hymn, it is at number 20, Be Thou My Vision. Thank you, everyone. Please join me in the words of our affirmation, our covenant as printed in the order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you, everyone. Be comfortable in your seats. I found this adorable little story and decided to bring it and share with you as the time for all ages. It's entitled The Wise Young Owl. "You're so boring, Oscar," his best friend Lester commented one day. "Why don't you come and fly around with us?" But Oscar never took his friend's criticisms to heart. He knew that pretty soon he'd be old enough to rely on the wisdom he'd been gaining from the older owls. His favorite lesson was how to keep watch at night for predators. While everyone was relaxing at home one night, he went to meet the senior owls who were on night watch. "I want to learn as much from you as I can," said Oscar. "Pretty soon, I'll be the one in charge of protecting my family." He had a good night of observation training with the senior owls and was on his way home when he noticed that something wasn't quite right. He put his lessons to use and identified a cat lurking in the shadows of his family's home. Without a second thought, Oscar released a loud alarm call that got the attention of the senior owls on duty. "Sounds like the alarm is coming from Oscar's home," announced one of the owls. And with that, they rushed to the location and scared the cat away. "That was quick thinking, Oscar," remarked one of the senior owls. "You put your training and the past knowledge we've given you to good use and protected your family from danger." Oscar felt proud that his lessons in vigilance from the older owls paid off. When wisdom and the knowledge of the past guides your actions, it is easy to sense when danger might be near. Something told Oscar there was value in gaining wisdom from the senior owls in the community and in learning what worked in the past. He believed that sooner or later he would have to call on the lessons learned and the principles they taught him. Learning about the principles of protection in his community meant that Oscar's foundation would be strong and certain. He learned what worked within his community and carried that information forward into his newer life and journey. Wisdom comes from various sources that you encounter each day, and it can also come from past sources that you don't always see. From your parents' advice to historical lessons about our faith, there are many lessons from which to develop and enhance your own wisdom. New information is wonderful, often exciting and stimulating, but at the same time, leaning into established and proven information can provide a strong foundation for the development and continued health of your faith life. As you travel your own individual faith journey, be careful to research and learn from the past. Not all current information is useful, and not all past information is useless. Just like in the fable, the lessons you learn from what's worked in the past can come in handy when you need them. Building the skyscraper of your faith, one that reaches far into the sky and gives you room and opportunity to grow, is only possible when you have the strong and stable foundation of the past to build upon. Use the truths of the past, the established faith, to center you, and then start building as high as your spirit calls you to. It is now the time in the service for our offering. We are grateful for all the ways in which you, this congregation, support us and one another. By offering your time, talent, and treasure to this community, you help us serve the members, friends, and the wider community of this congregation. As part of that service, we share our general offering each week with organizations that are in harmony with our values, who do work in the world that brings us ever closer to creating the beloved community. Our plate sharing recipient for August, repeating from last week, is Real Art Ways. Real Art Ways is a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing the arts to the community through film, exhibitions, performances, and gatherings where all are welcome. It began in 1975 as an artists' living and working collective and has evolved to become one of the country's outstanding contemporary art spaces, one that has a special link with its own community. They work with emerging and established artists, have a diverse and dynamic audience, and are deeply committed to giving LGBTQ and BIPOC artists and performers nurturing space in which to develop and share their work. To give electronically, please use the QR code on your order of service, the links in the description, or those on the website to make your donation to our offering. Here in the sanctuary, our offering will now be gratefully received as you listen to Shower the People, written by James Taylor. everyone, for your generosity, for the love in your hearts, for the caring in your spirit, for your smiles and your faithfulness. May your continued presence in this blessed place and all the love you give to your family, your friends, and your community shower us all with love. Our congregational reading this morning is entitled, Faith Fuels My Endeavors. I dare to dream because I believe my vision can and will become my reality. Whether I'm launching into new adventures or following a familiar path, I expect a positive outcome. My faith provides me with certainty that good things are to come. My faith, well established, provides comforting arms where I can rest from the trials and tribulations of our constantly changing world. When circumstances challenge me, my established, strong faith helps me tap into my courage and see beyond the immediate toward the bigger picture. My faith encourages me to believe that wonderful things await me beyond what my eyes can see. The seemingly small beginnings in the long history of my faith are simply the first steps on the path to greatness. Through my belief, I can persevere through the inevitable storms of life. Faith empowers me to lock my mind on my goals and inspires positive thoughts, banishing discouragement. I know that there is and continues to be a loving and consistent power beyond myself that is there for me to tap into. There is a strength beyond my strength, a love beyond my love, and a wealth of history that supports me. As my faith increases, the limits to my possibilities disappear. My ears are open only to the dreams deeply placed in my heart, and my faith closes them to any negativity around me. Because I know the foundation of my faith and the knowledge left by those who came before me, I can foresee a grand future for myself in the midst of my faith. I have the power to believe that through the continued exercise of my faith, through its principles and its wisdom, I can continue to develop my heart, my mind, and my spirit into who I want to be. My faith helps me to understand that I am in control of my own destiny by choosing to find resonance between the tenets of my faith and what I believe about myself. Because I know I have this power, I can achieve anything. Today, I choose to believe that my dreams and the life I deserve to live are attainable. I dare to see myself as someone with great potential who deserves to succeed in every way imaginable, and my faith is my companion throughout the journey. Please join me as you will for the doxology.
Praise God for love we all may share. Praise God for beauty everywhere. Praise God for all of good to me. Praise God for truth that makes us free.
Please be seated. Our pastoral prayer this morning is at number 93 in the gray hymnal, if you would like to read along. Written by John Burens and Rebecca Parker, slightly adapted for inclusion in the hymnal at number 93. Hope rises. It rises from the heart of life, here and now, beating with joy and sorrow. Hope longs. It longs for good to be affirmed, for justice and love to prevail, for suffering to be alleviated, and for life to flourish in peace. Hope remembers. It remembers the dreams of those who have gone before and reaches for connection with them across the boundary of death. Hope acts. It acts to bless, to protest, and to repair. We extend strength, love, and compassion to individuals and families who are walking through the transitions of loved ones. We encourage those bearing the weight of sadness to take comfort in the love that is shared in this very sanctuary toward them as they marshal their strength. We gently remind each other that the love our friends and family share with us, the lessons they have taught us and continue to teach us, and the impact they have on our lives, our hearts and souls will never fade as long as we remember them and what they meant to us. May the good memories of our shared and individual past be strong and close, and may love, comfort, and restore those facing challenges. And at that same time, let that same love expand and increase the joys that are present in all of our lives. May all within the sound of my voice be held and supported by all that is good and powerful in this perfectly imperfect world. I'd like to share with you now the words of Nelson Mandela. And you say, Diane, the man said so much that was good. What are you going to share this morning? This piece is entitled Walking the Long Road. And if anyone knows about the value of walking a long road, it would be Nelson Mandela. This has been slightly adapted by yours truly, because I can't just use things as they're written. I have to go put my own spin on it. It's a byproduct of being in seminary, where they tell you to customize everything to fit you, your congregation, your sensibilities. And I said, okay, I've got artistic license, but only a little bit, because Nelson Mandela's words really don't need my help. We are walking the long road to freedom. We are trying not to falter. We have made missteps along the way, but we have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, powered by our enduring faith, we find that there are many more hills to climb. We can take a moment there at the top of the hill to rest, to take in a view of the glorious vista that surrounds us, to look back on the distance we have come, and honor the faith that has brought us to this moment. But we can rest only for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibilities to those who came before us and to those who will come after us. We dare not linger, for our long walk is not yet ended. Our faith powers us forward, ever forward, supported by what has been and by those who came before us. Please now join us in singing Spirit of Light.
Spirit
very, very much. Our reading this morning is entitled The Whispers of the Ancestors. It was written by Lynn Gardner and adapted just a little bit by yours truly. Yep, absolutely. Because I can't leave anything good enough alone. I have to go put my tweak on it. Can you hear them? Can you hear the whispers of the ancestors? We remember. Their stories are in these walls, in our bones, in the air that we breathe. Their stories are in the touch of a calloused hand, in the melody of songs that we hum while washing dishes, while worshiping in our sanctuary. As we leave this beloved building when services are over, they are here with us in remembered faces. We hear the whispers of the ancestors, how their stories touch our lives and call us into becoming, honoring the past while we look toward the dawning future, bringing what is good, strong, and proven forward. As we walk the path that is ours to travel, hearing the whispers of the ancestors as they walk beside us ensures that we will never walk alone. Our musical message this morning, written originally by Marvin Gaye, entitled, What's Going On?
Continue with theme. I'm going to tweak it a little bit myself because,
You go right ahead.
all right, right. So happy to be here. How you guys doing? All right. When was this written? Back in the 70s?
question for you this morning. How do you describe your faith? Would you say that it was given to you by your parents? Many of us have been gifted a faith as a child by the practices of our parents, caregivers, or other significant influences in our lives. Whether we agree with the faith we were gifted or not, when we reached a certain age, we may have been allowed, perhaps even encouraged, to ask deep and introspective questions about the faith we'd been given. To describe something as established means that it was brought into existence, proven valid or true, and some might also use words like permanent, rooted, traditional, or settled to clarify that description. Our modern society has developed slightly negative connotations to words like traditional or settled. It's implied by some that to be traditional is to be old-fashioned and not necessarily in a good way. To be rooted is to be stuck in the eyes of others, and heavens to Betsy, don't use the word settled when talking about a romantic relationship. In the eyes of pop culture pundits, to settle is to accept less than the best, to retreat to the familiar, another word that's been negatively defined, and to remain there, safe, secure, and passive. So, question, what's wrong with being safe? Safety can be an underrated quality in human life. We consider specific aspects like physical safety as important. No one wants to endure the stress of living in an environment that's unsafe. But at the same time, we're told that to pick the safe road is to accept less than the best. Retreating to safety is sneered at, as if you're somehow lesser than, looked down upon if you're not living up to your potential if you choose safety. When all about you is changing at a pace that you're not comfortable with or don't quite know how to handle, there is a strong sense of need for a familiar and safe environment. Knowing what to expect, knowing how you're going to deal with the next piece of life that travels your way, and being assured that the outcome is a comfortable place to be when all about you are losing their heads and blaming it on something outside of themselves is desirable. A faith that is grounded in the past has the opportunity to carry forward a firm and strong foundation, not in a bad way, but knowing there are some truths that do not change very much over the passage of time and that can be relied upon brings a sense of stability. Stability hasn't become one of those negative, positive words just yet. It's still considered a compliment to be called stable. An unstable faith might be one that shifts with the winds however they are blowing, giving a believer nothing to hold on to in their time of need. A faith like ours, like Unitarianism, Universalism, and the combined Unitarian Universalism, has deep roots that go back hundreds of years, and there's a huge benefit to that. We are not alone. We have hundreds upon hundreds of forebears who believed very much as we do now. We can trust that the principles they espoused are still relevant and useful. Can they be adjusted? Yes, of course. As you noticed in my sermon, I like adjusting things. But the foundation remains the same: to believe and act upon the belief that human beings are inherently worthy and that we possess dignity, as in our first UU principle, is to say that our own founding fathers were right. While they may not have explicitly said that immigrants and the poor were included in the first principle, naming all the groups that now take heart and hope from that principle, they left us room to grow. They didn't qualify the principle by saying all persons who were landowners, or all persons who were male, or all persons who identified as and could prove they were of Caucasian ancestry had inherent worth and dignity. They said all persons with no qualifier. It's we perfectly imperfect human beings striving to imbue and hold on to power that put the qualifiers in there. Even at some point hotly debating who among us were considered persons. Over the years, we've come to the realization that established principles, rules, laws, and thoughts can and perhaps should change. When you know better, you do better. At least that's the ideal that we hope for. For a faith path such as ours to exist for hundreds upon hundreds of years means that those of us who believe are willing to work to keep it moving forward. We do so because it works for us. Notice I didn't say it was perfect or that it works perfectly, but it does work. One of the dangers of established journeys or paths is that they can become automatic if we're not careful. We can get so used to walking the path that it seems to happen unconsciously, without thinking, and then we can become complacent. When behaviors around faith become automatic, it takes the actions and the results of those behaviors out of the realm of conscious choice. If you can just do it without thinking, often without realizing you're taking the action, is it truly a choice anymore? You need a solid faith foundation to build trust. When you're expecting a specific kind of behavior or a specific answer to your queries and you always get it, you learn to trust in that. You learn that the circumstances will be dependable and positive, and that you can relax your defenses a little bit because you know what to expect. A faith life or journey can be the same way. When you build your faith life on a strong, proven foundation, there's very little holding you back from exploring the fullness of that journey and trusting what you find. If the rules of the foundation keep changing, you'll lack trust because you won't know what to expect. While some may see comfort as a bad place, a place of stagnation, when you want to be reassured, comfort is exactly what you want. Mastering the basics of your faith is crucial to building a foundation that supports understanding the finer nuances. If you don't spend time learning the basics, the information that doesn't change very often, it's much harder to learn where to go forward from there. It takes time to learn the foundations of your chosen faith, but it's time well spent. Adding new skills and expanding your understanding is much easier if you have the reality of having a good handle on the basics. A faith journey with a strong foundation gives you a jumping-off point with which to explore and to relate the truths it espouses to your life, your current life. Our understanding of the UU principles as youth, teens, or young adults is different than the understanding we have as full-grown adults, some might say. Having that solid foundation and established faith that includes what worked before helps us to then expand that knowledge and adjust to what we are facing in our lives, including who we are, right where we are. A living faith is one that continues to grow and change, and one that encourages its adherents to grow and change along with it. We face different challenges now than the ones our parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents faced, and yet, the elements of faith that sustain them are still important, useful, and powerful for us now. We are not stuck. We are grounded in faith. We are not passive. We are shapers and builders of a faith with a strong foundation proven throughout the annals of time. We are not blown about by the capricious winds of trends. We are settled and strong in principles handed down to us by our ancestors and forebears in the faith. We are trusted with the foundation because we know from whence we came, and we are strong enough to continue building on that solid foundation and to offer the treasure of Unitarian Universalism to the world. May we continue to be grounded, strong, and settled in our faith as we encourage it to shape and as we build it into the future. Amen. Ashe, blessed be, and may it ever be so. Our closing hymn this morning is at number 30 in the gray hymnal entitled, Over My Head. Let us speak together our unison benediction. Engage with the world in peace, have courage, hold on to what is good, return to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor all beings. Be seated as the Spirit moves you, and please remain for our postlude.